The movie begins with a small-town diner buzzing with the noise of clattering plates and childhood laughter, where young Thomas is celebrating his birthday with Wendy and her brothers, James and Douglas. Their grandmother jokes about how quickly the children are growing, already imagining their future jobs at the diner. But Thomas refuses this fate, insisting that his dream isn't to push brooms or mop floors. Moments later, he hears a mysterious voice from atop a moving train, calling him toward adventure. Without hesitation, he leaps aboard, disappearing from Wendy's life for years. Time passes, and Wendy is now older, working in the diner just like her mother, Angie. Thomas is still missing. The town has quietly accepted his disappearance as a tragic mystery. One night, Wendy overhears her brothers begging Angie for a story. Instead of a fairy tale, they ask for a real story from her youth. Angie confesses that her childhood dream was to ride the rodeo, but life changed her course. Wendy refuses to accept that this is simply what adulthood becomes, dreams forgotten and replaced. A spark ignites inside Wendy. She sees her mother trapped in routine, tied down by responsibility, and swears silently that she won't grow into someone who loses her fire. The next day, while walking to school, Wendy sees a train passing, the same train Thomas once jumped onto. A shadow flickers on its roof. Her heart races. She runs toward it, but her brothers call her back, grounding her once again in the life she wishes to escape. But fate comes for Wendy that very night. The train screeches to a stop by the diner, and a figure runs along its roof just like years before. Wendy wakes her brothers, insisting they witness the miracle she sees. And when the mysterious boy returns and leaps from car to car, she refuses to let him leave without her. Determined, she and her brothers climb aboard, chasing the unknown. Inside the train, a wild-eyed boy named Peter appears, claiming there are no stops on this journey, only adventure. By morning, he leads them to the edge of the train car and, without explanation, shoves them off into a river below. Shocked and terrified, they surface only to be discovered by Cudjoe Head, a fierce girl guiding a boat. Though she doubts Wendy's ability to survive their world, Peter insists they belong. The children are taken toward a distant volcanic island glowing in the sunlight. Peter calls the volcano Mother, speaking of it not as a place, but as a being. When they reach the shore, Peter races across the island, urging them to follow. Wendy and her brothers encounter other boys who possess strange abilities, like interacting with the volcano itself. The island pulses with magic, energy, and wild possibility, but paradise is quickly pierced by chaos. A young boy barrels through the trees, screaming warnings about Blackbeard. When he crashes before Wendy, she recognizes him instantly. It's Thomas, unchanged, still a boy. But he denies his old name, insisting he is someone new. Wendy tries to pull him back to himself, but he flees, lost in a persona shaped by the island's power. Despite the confusion, the children celebrate together that night, singing and laughing around a fire. In the morning, Wendy finds Peter speaking to the wind on a cliff, claiming he's talking to Mother. Curious and skeptical, Wendy follows him into an underwater cave, where she encounters the true Mother, a magnificent glowing fish, ancient and powerful. Mother's presence explains everything. As long as the children believe in her, they never grow old. Wendy and her brothers are awestruck. They splash in the water, glowing with newfound magic, and Wendy realizes she can now control the volcano, just like the others. Peter gathers them and demands they swear their loyalty to Mother, promising eternal youth. They eagerly agree, believing they've discovered the ultimate escape from adulthood. But magic comes with consequences. Wendy begins missing Angie deeply. One day she releases flower petals into the wind, hoping the message will reach her mother. Peter then shows Wendy drawings he's etched on cave walls, but he cannot remember when he made them. The more Wendy learns about him, the more she realizes that the island preserves children at the cost of something important: memory. The next morning, Wendy spots Buzo, an old man who moves strangely fast, giving water to Thomas as he sleeps. When she follows him, Peter and the others stop her, warning that the deserted side of the island is forbidden. But Thomas reveals the dark truth. Buzo was once a child like them until he lost his best friend and began to grow old. Doubt is the real enemy here. Lose belief in Mother, and you age. Peter takes the children to a capsized boat named Manana. Inside, Douglas injures his head, bleeding into the water before vanishing. Wendy and James panic, but Peter insists Mother will protect Douglas. Days pass without finding him, and James grows grief-stricken. The bitterness festers, and one night Wendy awakens to find James's hand has aged, wrinkled and gray. James begs Wendy to hide the truth from Peter, but his deterioration grows harder to conceal. While searching for Douglas, Wendy stumbles upon old surveillance equipment in a hidden building. Inside, a tense confrontation breaks out as Peter tries to force James to accept belief again. But James, desperate to stop the spread of age, begs Peter to cut off his aging hand. Despite Wendy's desperate pleas, Peter swings the machete. James collapses in agony, and Wendy realizes Peter cares more about eternal youth than real safety. She takes James and flees through the forest, searching for anyone who can help. That's when Buzo reappears, offering reluctant aid and guiding them toward the desolate side of the island. As night falls, Buzo confesses that growing old isn't frightening because of wrinkles or pain. It's the loneliness that hurts the most. Wendy vows to help him feel young again, but he warns her about clinging too tightly. Wendy refuses to accept that detachment is the price of survival. She believes that caring deeply is what keeps them human. At dawn, they reach the forgotten settlement, a bleak shore filled with old people, all of them former children who lost belief. Wendy is horrified. She watches as the elderly cast nets into the sea, hunting for Mother. Some believe eating Mother's flesh will make them young again. Wendy pleads with them to stop, but hopelessness has blinded them. Later, in an abandoned restaurant, Wendy tries desperately to lift their spirits, urging them to dance, talk, reconnect. But James rejects her efforts and wanders toward the beach, telling the old people that if they want Mother, they must use the island's children as bait, because Mother protects kids, not adults. Wendy is horrified, but he refuses to listen. James leads the old people to snatch the younger kids, including Sweet Heavy. Wendy runs to warn Peter, but he's furious that she interacted with the old people at all. Their argument explodes, each blaming the other for everything that has gone wrong. Despite their bitterness, they agree to rescue the captured children. They track the old people to the refurbished manana, where James, now older, twisted by loss, has crafted a hook to replace his severed hand. Wendy is devastated. Peter warns her not to let sad thoughts age her too. As the boat sails off, they dive in after it, but Peter begins drowning. Mother appears once more, saving them both from the depths. Mother reveals new drawings Douglas made. Alive and well, Douglas reunites with Wendy, restoring some hope. Together, they sail to the manana, but the old people capture them. James is shocked to see Douglas alive, but instead of joy, he feels betrayed, resenting that Douglas remained young while he withered. Moments later, James senses Mother nearby. Consumed by desperation, he aims a harpoon at her. Peter tries to stop him, and Wendy lunges forward, but the old people restrain them. James hurls the harpoon, striking Mother. Chaos erupts as nets are thrown into the water. Wendy and Douglas manage to free the captured kids and dive after Mother, but it's too late. Her glow fades. She dies. James retrieves a rotten scrap of her flesh, horrified by what he's done. As the children mourn, Peter breaks down, believing he will grow old without Mother's protection. Wendy comforts him gently, telling him a story about a mother waiting in a diner for her children to come home. It's a story about love, change, and the beauty of growing older. Wendy insists that growing up doesn't end their story, it expands it. Their adventures will grow bigger, richer, and even more meaningful with age. Inspired, Buzo begins to sing, and the children join in. Their voices echo across the ocean. Suddenly, Mother's glow resurfaces, and the volcano erupts again. Mother has been reborn. Douglas returns to James, holding his hand. James laments that he can never go home again, but Douglas assures him he'll never be alone. Peter announces a new plan. James will live as Captain Hook, the island's mischievous antagonist, forever locked in playful battle with Peter. For the first time, James smiles. The childlike spark returns. Wendy and Douglas eventually return home, reuniting with Angie. Years pass. Wendy grows older, has a daughter named Jane, and continues life at the diner. One night, she hears a familiar noise, the train. Jane is gone, swept up by Peter just like she once was. Wendy chases after the train, but her aging body slows. She falls, watching her daughter disappear into the night, but she smiles, knowing Peter will return her safely, just as he once did for her. In the end, Wendy understands the truth. Childhood is magical, but growing old is its own adventure, one filled with stories worth telling. And as long as she remembers that wonder, she can pass it on to the next generation, keeping the spirit of Neverland alive forever. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another adventure. And tell me in the comments what movie you want to see next.